Toby, welcome back. Thank you for joining us again for part two. Just to catch folks up, you can always catch part one of this interview. I'll have links in the description, and you can hopefully it's here in the playlist as well. But Toby, give us a quick intro just to catch folks up, and we'll get into it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Hello, everyone. I'm Toby. I'm a developer from Sweden. I've been doing web dev for a long time. Now, when I meet people doing development, I can often say I've been doing it as long as they've been alive. I'm old.
Wild.
uh, I started doing backend Java development, and then moved on to web and front end, and now I do full stack development. I started doing, like I said, Java for a big telecom operator here in Sweden, Ericsson, and then as a consultant, I work with various businesses. Then I took a position at a smaller Swedish fintech startup. And that's, I think, where I really found my love for working with small, fast-moving startup companies. So that's mostly what I do now. I try to help small companies build out their software end of the business.
Very cool. I didn't know we had this connection, actually. I'm just now putting it together in my mind because my mother was a technical writer for a company in New Jersey that eventually ended up getting acquired by Ericsson.
And there you go.
And so, weird little coincidence there. But, one of the things that you didn't mention, but I will, is you were founder and CTO of Grodd. I think I'm saying that right. Double check me. Grodd. Um, Talk to our audience about that a little bit.
Yeah, of course. So if you go back and watch the previous episode here, I talked a lot about RedwoodJS and CedarJS. Through working with both of those open source projects, I talked with a lot of companies and smaller business building, of course, on top of Redwood and Cedar. And then in doing so, I kind of got the itch of starting my own company. As I said, I joined this Swedish fintech startup, and that was also me just joining a startup. I really wanted to found my own startup at one point. So I attended one of these online tech meetup things here in Sweden. Usually a bunch of dudes in their 30s and 40s just geeking out about software. But this one time, a girl actually joined, who it turns out not to be a developer at all, which was kind of weird, or unusual. But I really liked her vibe, and she mentioned something about a startup idea that she had. So we got talking, and her idea was this company called Grodd. So we actually ended up co-founding Grodd together as a company. And the business, or what we were doing, was we built a mobile app for home gardeners to optimize their gardening for growing edible food. She was really into growing her own food, but had all her notes on paper and in a big Excel spreadsheet. And if you've been around startups for a while, you know that a lot of startups, they actually do start out as being a fancier Excel spreadsheet. And that's exactly what we were setting out to do. Like the first version of the app was pretty much a digital seeds catalog where you could keep track of all the seed packages that you had bought. And the idea was that it would help you remember when to plant your seeds and to tend to your seeds and eventual plants, all the way to when you can harvest it and cook your own food from the food that you have grown in your garden or on your balcony.
That is super cool. As somebody who has dabbled in and out of home gardening, that is fascinating. So I heard you say to cooking as well. So you're emphasizing like foods that you that you grow and it's more about edible foods. Is that like to a specific region, or is that like are you trying to go to every type of growing region?
Yeah, so you're right. We do focus on food that you can eat. Like there are other apps out there for plants, like flowers, pretty flowers in pots and so on. But we wanted to focus on the preparedness angle a lot actually. Like we started this company pretty early in the war against Ukraine, and it hit us as it has it has impacted the entire world pretty much, but definitely us up here in the Nordics where we import a lot of our grains from Ukraine, and people really started feeling like there was a real risk of not having food available in the local supermarket. So more people were looking into growing their own food at home, and so that was one thing that we wanted to also help with Grodd. But I keep saying did and was. So Grodd is not a company anymore, or at least I'm not part of that company anymore.
Mhm.
We decided to shut it down, or I decided to leave the company. It's not officially shut down, but it's I put on ice for now. There's no more development happening. So people really like the application that we built. But the monetization angle was that we wanted to have people pay a monthly subscription fee for this.
Mm.
But it turns out that people don't really want to pay for this. Like they loved using it, but they didn't want to pay for it. And as we were going for like the home user, which is very difficult market to target, you need a lot of users to be able to pay for it, like proper salaries to a full company.
Sure.
We were charging rounded $5 per user per month. You need
Mhm.
a lot of $5 subscriptions to to pay for a salary. So yeah, unfortunately, we never got the traction that we wanted among paying subscribers. So we decided to shut the company down.
Feel like every founder has many stories like this. I'm curious what, like, looking in the rearview mirror, um, what was the biggest takeaway from this? Like, obviously, a lot of folks got a lot of use out of this and everything like that, and whether you have a connection to that, which is awesome. And tell me more about, as an engineer, as a co-founder, what was like the biggest takeaway, the biggest thing you learned?
The biggest thing was definitely to validate the market more before you start building. We had talked to people on the street and asked them if they wanted to use an app like this. And as I said, people do want to use it, they just don't want to pay for it. So to do your market validation and make sure that people are actually willing to pay for it, I think that's the biggest takeaway.
I should try his cut once, maybe. Okay. Yeah. But you never know, right? So, thanks for sharing that. I know a lot of folks, a lot of builders, right? They think about what it would be like to start their own business, to go out on their own. And hats off to you for taking that first step out there. I know you've been working in that area for a while and seen a lot, so I have a feeling this won't be the last project we hear about with co-founder Toby. And just keeping on that thread a little bit, you have such a unique set of experiences, right? As the leader of a startup, as somebody who's done product development, both like in a consulting basis and also built your own product. You do open source framework development, um, and I think one of the things that all of those job descriptions now are contending with is AI, right? And what are some things I'm curious? I'm going to ask the opposite of question of what a lot of people usually ask. What are some things you can't or won't do with AI tools?
I kind of want to say nothing. Like
Yeah.
I yeah. The thing is, I have an AI help me with everything.
Mm.
Where the difference is like how much I let it run free, how much I look at whatever it's doing, like how much attention I pay to the output, and how much scrutiny goes into reviewing whatever the AI is doing. I think that's what's variable. It's not a question of if, it's just how much. So for me, AI is always there. The question is, as I said, how much I let it run on its own and how much I supervise it.
That's really interesting. Do you have like an example that comes to mind?
Yeah, I mean, if you go super technical, just today I was running Claude Code and I had to do something, and it said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do this. It's not allowed in my sandbox. Let me try disabling my sandbox and do it anyways." And it did, and it got access to my SSH keys. But like this is I knew this could happen, so this is something I only run when I can keep an active eye on it and see what's going on, see what's happening. That's not a task I would give to some free roaming agent somewhere. So that's one example.
Anything
But it
requiring like
also
access to production systems or to your own like SSH keys, like you're keeping that close. You're keeping that tab in the
exactly
terminal open. All right.
exactly yeah, and it also depends on what kind of development I'm doing. If I'm writing a bug, like if I get an issue report on CedarJS and I want a reproduction, I can just ask an AI to do it, and I don't look at that code much. I'm happy if I have a working reproduction of the bug, and then I go from there. I don't spend a lot of time reviewing that exact implementation. But if I'm working on a new auth provider integration, I will of course look at every single line. I will still have the AI write the code for it, but I will definitely review every single line of it before I merge it into main. So again, it's just how much review is the AI output given, and how much is it just accepted as it is. So that's on the development side of things. I also have AI automations running for other things. Like I'm working with one company called Era. It's a Canadian startup, also interested me in the food, growing your own food kind of business. We build a farming. We call it the world's first farming appliance. It's kind of like the size of a American refrigerator. You open it up like your refrigerator doors, but inside you don't have your milk, you have your plants growing instead.
How
And
interesting.
yeah, and we sell this to restaurants initially in Canada. It's a Canadian company, but of course we want to expand to the entire world. And for this company, I'm the only one doing. I do all of their software development, and but I also like this is also a small startup, and I'm involved with pretty much everything. So one of the things that I have an AI agent doing is like scan for news articles and anything related to the business we're in, and give me a daily summary. Of course, that's something I'm happy for the AI to just do on its own without much insight in how it works or anything. I just have to set up a daily post to our Slack channel with whatever news it found, and give us a summary and links for where we can read more if we want to dive deep.
I'm detecting a theme here in your answers because from noticing Claude escaping its sandbox to figuring out, telling it to give a reproduction on an issue that might be, underspecified, we'll say on GitHub, or proactively going out there and finding news articles.
Yep.
I'm seeing a lot of personal judgment kind of being used there, right? There's not one size fits all. And you said in the beginning, like it's not a question of if, it's how much. And I
Yeah.
feel like each of these, you've applied your own kind of instinct, maybe is the right
I
word,
guess
as
so.
to like how much what to automate, and in what manner. Because I heard a lot of different modalities, from like hands on the steering wheel to completely automated to like, maybe checking the road every few minutes, but letting
Yeah,
it, cook on something.
that's right. Yeah.
If you were to give advice to like somebody in, who's context switching a lot, and I imagine you're context switching a lot in your week to week, just the sheer number
Yep.
of jobs that you've described. Like how do you stay on top of it, or maybe that's not the right word. How do you at least manage all of that? I don't know. curious if you have any words of advice for the audience.
Uh, Unfortunately, not really. I'm happy.
That's
I'm happy.
okay. It's an honest answer.
Yeah, I'm hopeful for some good comments on this video whenever it goes out on YouTube. Maybe someone has some good recommendation for me. But honestly, it is a bit all over the place right now. Like I mentioned, I have one AI bot automation running in Slack. I have one in Discord. I have a few local Claude Code terminal sessions running. I have AI integrations in my IDE. And I recently installed Claude Desktop just to run some browser automations from there. I mean, it does. It's a lot. It does get start. It starts getting hard to keep track of everything going on, and that context switch is real. Like in one project I have mentioned was in the previous video was how I got started with Redwood, writing an e-commerce store for a local business, where I was also once again the only person doing anything software related, and that's actually why I yesterday installed Grodd Desktop to run browser automations, because I'm picking that project back up again. So that's like 4 years later, diving back into that source code. So as another thing that runs on the side, together with Cedar, together with Era, and a few other things I got going. Context switching is real, and it's difficult to be efficient with it, with all of that. So I tried to structure my days. Like this morning, I did just one thing, and now I do this, and after I will go and do just Era, so I can focus on one thing. Like I split my days and try to do one thing at a time. So I multitask across the day, but not at the same time.
Sure. I think that's actually really relieving to hear, because I feel like everybody in this area is like trying to look over each other's shoulder and be like, you know what, how are you doing this? And I think the assumption is we're all missing something, and it's nice to hear somebody, who's prolific and context switching, also talking about the cost of that. And I don't have the answers, and I think a lot of us would find that cathartic. So thank you for your candor.
And
so I asked this.
Yeah, I just want to mention one more thing about community, because I think that's important as well. I had a couple of weeks ago, I had one old RedwoodJS user contact me, and we worked together on a thing for Cedar. And just as we were working together and he shared his workflow, I picked up on things that can make my AI work more efficient and easier. So just talking to people is definitely the best way to learn about ways that you can improve your own workflow and how you use these new tools. So yeah, if you can find an open community, just
talk
join
to people.
Talk to people, yeah, definitely.
Community. All those keystrokes we're saving, right? Put that towards touching grass and chatting with your neighbor.
Yeah.
Show us something on your desk or within arm's reach, and talk about it.
Yeah, so okay, this is gonna be different. This has nothing to do with anything we talked about so far, but
all good.
I wanted to show this Rubik's Cube, because this has been a theme of this summer, I would say. Before we started recording, we talked a little bit about family, and I have kids. I have 3 kids, and I have really connected with them this summer. Definitely my 2 older boys. I have one that's 16 and one that's 13. And I bought this cube, I'd say 5 years ago, maybe. I tried to learn it. I gave up and put it in a drawer somewhere. But this summer, my 13-year-old got his own cube and actually did learn it. So I felt like I couldn't have that. I couldn't have him knowing how to solve the Rubik's Cube, and when I didn't. So we've been working that together. Like he's been showing me how he learned it, and now I can actually finally solve it myself, thanks to him. But of course now he's gone and learned a more efficient and faster way. So now he's still ahead of me.
That's a great story. Come full circle.
Yeah, and with my older son, he's 16 and he's getting his motorcycle license. Uh, I've been driving motorcycles since I was 17, 18. Yeah, I started earlier, but yeah, I got my license when I was 18. And I drove motorcycles a lot. But then when I got kids, I didn't give up on it, but I definitely started riding not as much anymore. But now that he's interested in getting his own license, we've been riding together, and that's been a lot of fun. So this was easier to put on my desk or to have it at home reach than a
I have a
motorcycle.
full-size
So
motorcycle.
yeah. But so
That's
this would be a
cool.
symbol of me connecting with my sons this summer.
That's beautiful. That's wonderful. Well, cheers to that. It is one of the most satisfying and fulfilling things to see your children grow up to teach you something.
Yeah, definitely.
Cheers to that.
Yeah,
Well,
for sure.
Toby, it was awesome having you on the channel. Thank you so much for sharing the history of what you've worked on, your takeaways from it, everything. I know the audience really appreciates it, and I appreciate you. So it was great to see you recently at a GraphQL Comp. Hope to see you at the next one, and cheers.
Yeah, you too, Jeff. This was fun. Thank you so much.
Take care.